So if you are joining me, go ahead and jump on in, jump on in. So excited to have you as you guys are coming in. Come on in, come on in, get comfortable, get comfortable. If you are coming in, go ahead and let me know who's in the house, who's joining me this week for this week's episode of Talk to Me Tuesday. So if that is you, go ahead and put fam into the comments. Those of you who are coming in, come on in, come on in. So excited to have you here. So excited to have you here. Again, I know that it takes a couple of seconds once we go live to have you guys jump on the scene. So if that is the case, for those of you who are jumping on with me, go ahead and put fan into the comments so we can send you some love and let you know that we are here with you. For those of you who might be joining us for the very first time, I also want to make sure that you feel the love as well. So if this is the first time that you're joining us, go ahead and put first time into the comments so the fam can go ahead and let you know that we are happy that you are joining us for today's opportunity. So again, loving, seeing the fam is coming through, Again, I know that we sent out some new invites. So for those of you who are coming in again for the first time, welcome. You are home, you are with the family, so you are in a good place to be right now. For those of you who have already shared with me that this is the day that you either go golfing or you have something going on, no worries. We're happy that you are still able to join us for that replay. So when you do catch us on the replay, go ahead and put replay into the comments so we can go ahead and send some love to you guys as well for that situation. So as we go through, I want to make sure that you guys, I'm seeing the love. Hey, yes, it has been a while. So happy to see you here. Florence, so excited to have you in the house with us this week. Marcus, always a pleasure to have you here. Andrea, I am so happy that you are here with me. I know that you had a moment where we were like, what is going on? We were sending prayers out to you. So do know that we are so happy. So fam, go ahead and let's send Andrea some love all the way in Texas because we are so excited that she's here rocking and rolling with us. So again, we are sending you that love. We are sending you that love. So listen, I wanted to talk to this topic because this is something that is really hitting home for me, and I'm not sure who else needs to hear this message. So when I was thinking of the title, I was like, ooh, what am I currently going through, right? So if those of you who are joining me, if you have been in this situation that I'm about to talk to, any of them, if any of them hit home for you, you feel like, ooh, Janelle, you're out here telling my business, go ahead and put me in the comments. You are in a safe space, so feel comfortable. But recently, I've been going through where, again, things have been going well, but I've been so busy, right? And I feel like between work, between the business, being a wife, being a mother, being a member of my organization, all of these things that I had more things to do than time. Now, again, if that's anybody else, or if I'm the only person who is finding that there are more things to do than there are hours in the day, if that's you, put me in a comment. If not, I'll know that I'm the only person out here who needs to balance her time a little bit more, right? But I say that because sometimes in certain experiences that you go through, you feel like your mean time is taking so long. And it's so difficult to really continuously be in that space where you don't feel overwhelmed, right? And one of the people who I get to support, I said to her the other day as we were talking, I said to her, listen, I need you to understand we control, hey, Donovan, first time in the house, love it, love it. But really understanding what I said to the person that I support is we control being overwhelmed. I know at times we feel like we can't control it, but I want you guys to just listen to me for a moment, right? When I am overwhelmed, I find myself not being as productive because I'm cycling through the same thoughts. I'm constantly thinking about all that I have to do. I'm constantly thinking there's no way for me to get this done. I'm constantly thinking in this negative mindset, right? Now, again, this message is hopefully for someone else, but I know it's for me as well. And when I get to that place, I've really begun to teach myself how to understand I control being overwhelmed. And I refuse to be overwhelmed. So I have to begin to manage how I'm feeling because I can be so much more productive when I'm not overwhelmed. So again, For those of you who you're grappling with a lot right now, I want you to hear me. You control being overwhelmed. Because I promise you this, right? And we're going to definitely get into the more into being patient in the meantime. But understand this, if something happens to you, right? We know in the fam, unfortunately, some of the fam members have shared with me in the past week, the past couple of weeks, people have heard diagnoses that aren't positive and it's causing them to be concerned. People have lost loved ones. People have been to the hospital. People have received bad news on their job. Literally, our fam, we are going through, right? But you know that I show up each and every week to empower you for those situations, right? So if any of the things I touched on is touching you, has touched a loved one, somebody you know super close that you care about, just go ahead and put yes in the comments. Let me know that some of the things, and let the members of the fam know they're not alone in some of these situations. Because oftentimes we feel like it is happening to us exclusively. Well, I'm here to tell you, you ain't alone, right? And that's exactly why I created this group, because I wanted to make sure that we were in a place where we could be empowered, where we could support each other, where we would know that, you know what I'm going through, I'm not going through it by myself. But what I want us all to understand when I talk about you are in control of being overwhelmed, listen, it's not a matter of shutting down, right? Right now, I know that some of you who are joining me or catching me on a replay, you work with me, and I know that some of you I get to support. When when I know that I'm at capacity, right? It's like a cup, right? Right now, me and my husband, we're doing these juice things, right? Pray for us, right? So we're trying to drink healthy, right? I ask y'all to keep me in prayers. I've been doing good. I'm getting my nutrients in. But just like this bottle, there is a certain capacity to which this bottle can hold. Okay. Once this bottle gets to this point, if I pour anything else in this bottle, it is going to overflow. So when you are taking on tasks, when things are coming your way, make sure you recognize that sometimes you have to say, okay, I'm at a level where I can't take anymore. But continuing to not communicate when you're at that point is helping no one, right? Those of you who've worked with me in any capacity, you know, one thing I am is clear. One thing I do is I will ask the questions, right? and the reason that I do that is because I've in supporting people in really learning some of the strategies that I utilize with the people I support. I have to practice it myself. So I can't be out here supporting people in the work that I get to do, making sure that they're empowered and I'm not empowering myself, right? Because I say to you guys all the time, no one wants to go to a doctor who's not taking care of himself. No one wants to go to a teacher who's illiterate. Like, let's be honest, right? And no one wants to work with me as an empowerment coach if I am out here struggling and I don't have strategies that I'm practicing myself before I'm saying to people, practice these steps, right? And I'm doing it and I know that it works. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, I want you to feel like Janelle is sitting on your shoulder telling you, we will not be overwhelmed. We're going to take a moment. We're going to stop. We're going to breathe and we're going to figure out what I share with my clients is what is urgent and what's important. Because what has a tendency to happen is things that are not urgent and not important take our time. Right? I want to pause because I want you to hear this, right? I want us to begin to, when we start to get to that place where again, I support people in their relationships, I support people in their businesses. I support people with the relationship they have with themselves. So when you are feeling overwhelmed in any of those capacities of your life, you need to stop. You need to take a moment and to take a breath and to figure out what exactly is causing me to feel overwhelmed. If I have 5 things that I need to do, if I have 15 things that I need to do, if I have 25 things that I need to do, I need to begin to prioritize what is both urgent and what is important, right? And I say to people all the time, let's be honest about what's urgent, because some things might be so urgent that they don't need you. They may need the police, they may need the ambulance, they may need a doctor, they may need a dentist, they may need somebody who is above and beyond where you are right now. And that is okay. But really get into that place where you start to, in your mind, think about what can I control? What are the things that are important? What are the things that are urgent? And I'm going to tell you this secret. The things that's most important and most urgent is you, right? Put you in the comment if you agree with me, right? If you agree that you are in your life the most urgent and the most important thing, go ahead and put you in the comments and let me know, right? Because honestly, if you're not here, the world will continue. People will mourn you, people will be missing you, and all of those things. But you won't be here to do those things that they made you feel like without you, it couldn't happen, right? All right, Donovan, you let me know, you and Andrew out here let me know that I am speaking the truth and that, again, you guys understand this. We often get to a place where we put so much pressure on ourselves that we get to this place where we are overwhelmed. But I want us to start to embrace what it means to be patient, what it means to be comfortable, to take a moment, right? Now, if anybody's guilty of this, go ahead. Let's be honest, right? We're in a house with the fam. Go ahead and put guilty in the comments. If any of the things that I say to you strike a chord. If you are guilty of when you wake up in the morning, you instantaneously access some form of technology, put guilty. If when you go through your day, there are things that you know that you say yes to people that there's no way that it's not going to become a sacrifice and a burden to you, go ahead and put guilty in the comments, right? If you know that you end up telling people no problem when you know it is going to take more time from you to do something else that you've already promised either yourself or someone else, go ahead and put guilty in the comments, right? Right, I see the guilty. I see y'all are guilty, right? But again, I'm guilty too. I'm guilty as well. But one of the things that I want to make sure that I share with you today is when we are in the meantime, sometimes it feels like it's me, but I want you to shift how you think about in the meantime. There is something for you to learn in the meantime. So when you are trying to be patient, take a moment, get to what we say as the balcony level, observe the experience. Figure out what it is that I'm guilty of and what are the things. Florence, I love her, right? She's like guilty, 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 right? So how do we begin to, again, start to shift some of that? And I know for those of us who are married, I know for those of us who have children, I know for those of us who value our job, all of these things make us feel like without us, they can't survive. Right? And we keep taking on more pressure. But when we do that, I want you to stop and say, I'm currently in the meantime. What is it that I need to learn from this situation? So today in one situation, right, I'll share with y'all because I tell y'all, I'm asking y'all to be transparent and to tell me when you're guilty and what y'all are out here doing. Today I was sitting in a meeting at work and we were going through a situation and the question came, who's willing to do something? And I tell people this all the time. Don't pose a request for me in the form of a question, right? I tell people that all the time. And I want to challenge y'all to do what I do, right? Because if you form it to me like a question, it is a question. And a question has options. So I often say to people when they say, Janelle, will you do this? I'm honest. So if I can do it, I will say yes. But if I can't do it, please believe no is the answer I'm sharing. Right? And it becomes beginning to teach people, do not phrase a request. Do not phrase a task that you want me to do in an optical illusion of a question. Because as much as you're painting this optical illusion, I am going to create clarity. So again, think about, and you don't have to tell me if you're guilty, right? I want y'all to just sit in that thought. In the past week, has anyone provided or asked you a question that you said yes to because you felt like that was the right answer. Well, let me tell you this. The right answer is what is best for you. Because continuing, right? And just like, listen, I got to do this with my grown kids, right? Because again, when we continue to support people and taking something off of their plates, taking off of something off of their plates, taking, by the end of the day, we have a full plate. And guess what? Sometimes we have a full plate of things we don't even like, right? And listen, mother's drinking these green shakes because mother likes to eat, right? So every time that I have to eat, sometimes I got to bring it back. I got to slow down and be patient in the meantime so that I can be here for my kids, so I can be here for my husband, so I can do the work God has blessed me to do with this business, right? But I can't do that if I'm not slowing down. So I say to you all, as you are going ahead and moving forward, right? Marcus, you said it. You said it so eloquently, right? Most demands are disguised in the questions. But listen, if you're going to go ahead and hold me to forming it in a question, I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer, right? One of the things that my husband and I, we absolutely have made it work as we get ready to celebrate our 10th anniversary. I know, Marcus, your anniversary is coming up too, right? So as we celebrate our anniversary, we keep it honest, right? And one of the things that I learned at a very young age is I am a horrible liar, right? Because when you lie, you have to have a great memory. And I rather keep my mind with things that are positive than lies. So I often tell on myself, right? So that's why I've gotten to a place where I'm just telling the truth because it's just easier for all people involved. And we have gotten to a place where when we communicate with each other, we communicate honestly. When I need him to do something, I do not pose it in a question because the only response I'm looking for is when you can do it. Understanding it may not be when I want you to do it, but knowing when you will have the opportunity allows me to now be able to move forward. So again, this happens in every single component of your life. So I want y'all to really think, yes, I know, right? I remember, I seemed like it was yesterday, Tandra, you guys got me beat, right? Because time flies when you're having a good time. But it's so important to make sure that in every single entity of your life, when people pose a demand and ask in the form of a question, I challenge you to empower yourself to answer them in the way that you genuinely feel while you're holding up all of the other plates that you may be holding up, right? And sometimes it's going to be most difficult when you have to give that response to potentially your supervisor, right? It takes practice, right? People at my job often say, "Ooh, Janelle is pretty transparent." I'm not rude or disrespectful, but I'm very honest. And I've now created this environment where that is the expectation. When Janelle says something, it's what she feels, right? And I try not to offend anyone. But people now understand when they deal with me, not to come with these camouflage questions, right? They come to me very, very direct. Janelle, I need you to do XYZ. No problem. I can get that done. So again, as we grapple with being patient, I really need you guys to figure out, where are you not creating the opportunity to be patient? We're always in a rush. One thing that, everyone has feelings about COVID. Unfortunately, we lost loved ones during this time, as many people did. Many people fiscally were in a bad situation. People lost their jobs, they lost their income. Things were tight. Absolutely. But in everything isn't all negative. And one of the things that COVID made many people do, even the people who experienced loss, especially the people who fiscally lost their jobs and didn't have a means, is it forced us to be patient. It forced us to slow down. And what I'm seeing now is the world is reopening as people are vaccinated. We have almost, and I'm so concerned that we're going to get back to the routine we had pre-COVID, where we are again packing 36 hours into a day and wondering why we are not finding the joy in what we do, while we're not finding the joy in our job, while we're not celebrating the joy in our relationships, while we're not celebrating the joy of our children, of our grandchildren. So I really caution us to really be aware of how we're filling up our time. Because when you feel like you're in those ebbs and flows, when you're in those down times, there is such great learning. This is the opportunity for you to get closer to God. This is the time for you to really reflect on where you are, right? Yes, it's important to not stay in that place, but while you're in that place, recognize the value of that place. Because when you get back to the top, again, it is cyclical. So make sure that through this journey, when you have to be patient, that you're celebrating that, because you recognize that while you are being prepared for whatever is your next promotion, that you have all of the skills. So when you get promoted, you will have success. And I'm not talking about your job exclusively. I'm talking about when you're promoted to be a mom, when you're promoted to be a dad, when you're promoted to be a grandparent, when you're promoted to be a husband or a wife, when you're promoted to find someone who is worthy of spending time with you, right? All of those are promotions. So when you are in your time of preparation, recognize what you need to work on. Recognize how you're being strengthened during those times. Because again, the meantime is about making meaning during that time. So I want you all to be patient as the world opens up, as everybody's on social media sharing all of the things, that the wonderful things that they're doing. That is awesome. But I also want to make sure, as you guys are reconnecting with loved ones that you haven't seen in sometimes a year or a year and a half, that the same joy and excitement you have from connecting with others, that you're also spending some time continuing to connect with yourself, pampering yourself, having a spa day. You know, Tandra, I know you can connect to her because she definitely has products. She supports Mary Kay to, again, make sure you're continuously taking care of yourself. How is it that we all have to think about, how am I showing up for me? How am I investing in myself? So in all of you, I say to you, continue to be patient in your meantime, because there's such great learning that happens. So when you get that promotion, whatever that promotion is, you are very prepared so that you continue to rise from that promotion to the next promotion, to the next promotion. So again, remember always, you control being overwhelmed. You control the response you give to people when they pose a question. Because during the meantime, when you have to be patient, that is truly the opportunity for you to continuously working on being your best you. I am Janelle. It is my pleasure to come here each and every week and to serve you in Talk to Me Tuesday. I hope there's something that I've shared with you that you will be able to use tonight, tomorrow. Marcus said it best. Again, go ahead, and those types of hidden messages that you have, go ahead and honestly say what you feel. Teach people how to treat you. So take care until next time. This is your girl Janelle signing off for another episode of Talk to Me Tuesday.